Hey there, Isaac. It's Dr. Scott. I have some feedback for you on your visual analysis, and what I'll do is I'll just kind of walk through and explain some of the main issues that I saw. There were four main things that I was looking for in this essay. One is a thesis statement. Another is your use of details to support that thesis statement. I'm also looking for organization and your ability to integrate sources. So I'll kind of touch on each of those as we go through. Your essay is going to need a fair bit of revision. And I'll kind of explain why and kind of give you a little bit of direction, because at the end of your essay you're actually doing some things that I think can be pretty helpful. So I think you've written your way to a start of a thesis statement that you might be able to build your revision off of. In the introduction you use a source, and I think you do a pretty decent job of setting it up and then getting that quote in there and kind of explaining the credibility of that person. You do that right in here. I would like to see a little bit more discussion after a quote. So you just say, the only thing you tell us is that when he made that comment. But I think there's a little bit more significance there that you should maybe talk about. So he took a flood wall that looked like a prison wall and turned it into kind of a piece of art, and I think that might be kind of significant. The bigger issue with the introduction is that there's not really a thesis statement there. I'm not sure where the paper is going after reading that introduction. And I also noticed as far as like your use of sources, this is the only one I think you have so far, and the assignment requires that you use two. So you want to think about the documentary or the Drew Fight piece that we read, or the I think it was Crawford or Conrad who wrote about like what murals teach us. So pull from one of those sources in your essay. The thesis statement's kind of a big issue because after reading this, again, I'm not sure where the essay is going, and it just seems like you're writing about what you liked about the murals, which is not really an analysis. It's not really an opinion, or that is just an opinion. It's not an argument. And an analysis comes up with some kind of argument where you say, this is what I think is happening with these two murals. I guess the thing in these body paragraphs, like you talk about some interesting details, but they're never kind of connected to a larger argument. So you might be able to keep some of these details, but I'm not sure like what you're using them for. You're just kind of talking about what you like about the murals. I think at the end of the essay, this is when you start getting into some writing that I think could lead you to a thesis statement that you can kind of build your essay around. So something like this first sentence here in the conclusion. I don't know why it's highlighting all that shit. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so this stuff in here, that's maybe something that you could build a thesis statement around. So the murals show that despite adversity and even failure, our history is worth remembering. The future of Portsmouth can be promising if we are educated about our history. That's the first part of a really solid thesis statement that has significance, that is making a claim, like you think that they're doing a good job with this. Like, that's a good start of a thesis statement. The thing that's missing, and it's really where this essay needs to go, is the how. How does it kind of get that across? And so it might be through the ways that it shows adversity, the ways that the murals use colors or lighting or what have you to show us certain things. So you have to think a bit more about the visuals and how the visuals get across that idea of adversity. That's really the next step here, and it's a really important one, and it's also a difficult one. So if you're not sure how to go about it, make sure that you ask me some questions, and maybe a trip to the Writing Center could be helpful as well. That's tough, and it kind of like when you answer the how, that's what your paragraphs become. So you might have something that's a little bit like this. So something a little bit like this. The Iron Man game and the Native American murals use, and this is going to be up to you and kind of brainstorming and thinking and asking me questions and maybe talking to a Writing Center tutor. What do they do in order to inspire the people of Portsmouth to have pride and overcome adversity? Once you're able to answer that, you have your body paragraphs, or you have what starts, what could be a really good start to body paragraphs. You have the basics of a thesis statement, but it's this part, it's the reason part of the thesis statement that's really not there Once you have that, your individual paragraphs, they should be talking about this stuff here, like these things. Like they use colors, or they use like positioning of characters, or they show action to inspire the people of Portsmouth to have pride and overcome adversity. And then in the body paragraphs, and this is another key point to kind of keep in mind, in the body paragraphs, you're talking about both murals. Having an essay where you talk about one mural up here, and then another mural down here. Actually, you do that more here. So like, this is the Native American mural, and then this is the football mural. Like, that's not going to really work for this kind of an assignment, because you're trying to talk about the message that both of the murals try to get across. And so splitting it up like that is not going to help you out as far as doing an analysis. What Will is saying, all right, they're using colors, or they're depicting action in these murals that are supposed to inspire people that live in the town to overcome adversity. And so the action here, that's kind of a layup. Like, that's going to be pretty easy. But the action here is a little bit more subtle. It's still there, though. But you'll need to talk about both murals in your body paragraphs. All right. So there's a lot to do here. But I'm excited because I think you picked some interesting murals. Like this kind of pairing, I don't see that very often. But I think it's kind of interesting, and I think you have a point. And I'm looking forward to reading a revision of this essay and kind of learning from what these murals are trying to get across. A few small issues. There should be captions with these. The text should be flowing around, and I can show you how to do that, and it's not a big deal. You got bigger fish to fry. But let me walk this thing over here, and I can show you like where you're at as far as the rubric goes. Thesis statement, it's not there just yet. You have a sentence that's at the end of your essay that's starting to be a thesis statement. So that thesis statement needs to come earlier so we know how to read your body paragraphs. Supporting details, they're not really supporting anything at this point. You're just kind of using them to talk about things that you like. But I gave you a close to satisfactory there because I do think you're writing about some pretty interesting details. Organization, it's not clear how ideas are organized just yet. It's like you have one paragraph about one mural and then another paragraph about another mural. There needs to be a reason why we're going from one paragraph to another. And then source integration, you have that one that looked pretty good. You do need another source, and make sure that you're setting it up and then discussing it afterwards. And then there's a few minor things as far as like MLA format. I'm not seeing list of works cited, and those visuals need a caption. So there's work to be done here. Ask me questions. We'll have time in class on Monday to revise these, so make sure that you're asking me questions, making sure that you have a good plan to revise. The revision of your essay is going to be due, let's say, a week from Monday, so that's going to be the 23rd. So Monday the 23rd, your revision's due. All right, that's it for now. I will talk to you soon.